Did you know that in this day and age, Black people are being racially abused like this for merely demanding independence from their colonizer, Indonesia? According to Amnesty International, and I quote, in August to September 2019, a group from local religious organizations in Indonesia attacked a dormitory of West Papuan students from the towns of Malang and Surabaya, accusing them of destroying the national flag of Indonesia and throwing it into the sewer. During the incident, the mob verbally attacked the students using racist slurs such as monkey, dog, animal, and pig. Some of the racist verbal harassment was recorded on video that was shared widely on social media, which led Papuans to stage larger protests in big cities in Papua. As you can see, viewers, the colonizers this time round are not white, but brown-skinned Indonesians who stole the land of the indigenous Black people of West Papua, who have lived there for over 50,000 years. Ironically, before colonizing the Papuans, these brown-skinned Indonesians themselves were colonized by a European power, the Netherlands. Talk about the oppressed becoming the oppressors, and an important reminder that colonizers come in all races and skin tones. And why doesn't the world know about this ongoing brutal war of independence by the Black people of West Papua? Because Indonesian leaders have hoodwinked the world that their country stands in solidarity with oppressed and colonized people in Africa and elsewhere, even as they brutalize Black West Papuans and steal their unimaginable wealth of oil, gas, gold, copper, and nickel. In fact, the biggest gold and copper mine in the world is the Grasberg mine of West Papua, and the massive crater dug to extract the minerals is visible from outer space. This is the heart-wrenching tale of West Papua, a region rich in oil, gas, and minerals, and yet shackled by a 60-year war of independence with Indonesia, which has stained this unbelievably wealthy land with the blood of its indigenous Black inhabitants. But before we delve deeper, viewers, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. This really helps me to continue making more of this type of in-depth content. What is the origin of the Free Papua movement? In December 1963, the Free Papua movement, also known as OPM, was born, marking the beginning of a determined quest for independence from Indonesian rule. The movement's declaration that, and I quote, "We do not want modern life. We refuse any kind of development. Religious groups, aid agencies, and governmental organizations. Just leave us alone," echoed the sentiments of a people yearning for autonomy. The territory, now divided into 6 Indonesian provinces, has since been a battleground for freedom, with the OPM conducting diplomatic dialogues, flag-raising ceremonies, and militant actions to assert their right to self-determination. The journey to Indonesia's control over West Papua began with the 1962 New York Agreement, which promised a plebiscite or a referendum vote to determine the region's fate. However, the reality was far from democratic. The 1969 so-called Act of Free Choice, overseen by Indonesian Brigadier General Sarwo Edi, involved only 1,025 hand-picked Papuan elders who are forced into voting for integration with Indonesia. The UN representative, Ambassador Ortiz Sanz, had repeatedly requested for a one-man, one-vote system, but his pleas were ignored. The result was a foregone conclusion, a consensus born out of fear rather than free will. For decades, the Indonesian government has employed brutal tactics to suppress the independence movement. The raising of the Morning Star flag, a symbol of Papuan unity, is met with accusations of treason, punishable by imprisonment. The OPM's activities are now labeled as acts of terrorism, justifying the government's draconian measures. The human cost of this conflict is staggering. An estimated 1,000 to 500,000 Papuans have been killed by the Indonesian security forces, with countless women subjected to sexual violence. The UN has highlighted and I quote, shocking abuses against local populations, including the killing of children, disappearances, torture, and mass displacement. The region's governance has been likened to a police state where free political association and expression are brutally repressed. West Papua's natural wealth has been both a blessing and a curse. The Grasberg mine contains the largest gold and copper reserves in the world, but has destroyed the ancestral lands of the Amunge and Chamorro peoples and poisoned the Ajqua River. The new Wabu Block gold mine and the expansion of the Tangguh gas field further threaten the region's environment and the livelihoods of its people. Indonesia's transmigration program has exacerbated the situation, with millions of settlers moving into Papua from the rest of Indonesia, threatening to overwhelm the indigenous Black Melanesian population, which has now been reduced by half since the migration started. The exploitation of the region's resources has enriched Indonesian military and corporate interests from the West, while leaving the Papuans impoverished and marginalized. Despite the overwhelming odds, the spirit of the Papuan people remains unbroken. They continue to raise their flag and sing their anthem, Hai Tanahku Papua, which means, "Oh, my land, Papua," in defiance of Indonesian oppression. The world is now slowly awakening to their plight, with social media campaigns like hashtag All Eyes on Papua bringing international attention to their struggle. In a striking display of hypocrisy, the Indonesian government recently voiced support for the self-determination of the Palestinian people at the International Court of Justice, while continuing to deny the same right to the people of West Papua that it has colonized for over 60 years. This double standard has not gone unnoticed, and the call for justice for West Papua is growing louder. West Papua's story is one of resilience in the face of overwhelming adversity. It is a tale of a people's unyielding desire for independence despite the brutal repression and exploitation. As the world becomes more aware of their struggle, the hope for a free and autonomous West Papua continues to burn bright. The international community must stand with the Papuan people, recognizing their right to self-determination and demanding an end to the violence and exploitation that have plagued their land for far too long. Only then can West Papua's stolen independence be rightfully restored. Thank you for watching to the end, viewers. I deeply appreciate it. What do you think about Indonesia's continued colonization and exploitation of West Papua? Please leave your comments below, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more in-depth content about the world's forgotten liberation struggles. Thank you.